Good morning, students. In the last section of this chapter, that is chapter 6, Life Processes, you read about nutrition. Now, the food material taken in by the organisms during the process of nutrition is used by the cells to provide energy for various life processes. And today in this section, we are going to read about it. And the topic here is respiration. Respiration is a vital life process in all the living organisms, and it goes on non-stop throughout the life. Now, how can we define it? The proper definition can be given as it is a biochemical catabolic process of releasing energy by breaking down glucose for carrying out life processes, and energy so released is used in all the cellular activities. Now let's see some basic difference between respiration and breathing. Respiration occurs inside the cell. It is a biochemical process. Breathing is just a physical process. In respiration, oxidation of food occurs, whereas in breathing, only intake of oxygen and removal of carbon dioxide occur, and that is why it is called as the physical process. And much more important is that in respiration, at the end of respiration, release of energy occurs, but there is no release of energy in case of breathing. So these are few points to differentiate in between respiration and breathing. Now children, as you know, that respiration can be of two types. It can be an aerobic respiration, it can be anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. And we are going to see some basic things about it. This is just to make you recall about difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. There are some organisms which break down, in which the glucose is broken down in presence of oxygen, and there are some organisms which does not require oxygen to break down glucose in the cell. So the first type will be aerobic respiration, the second type will be anaerobic respiration. So let's see some basic difference in between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So first point is it takes in presence of oxygen. Means aerobic respiration takes place in presence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration takes place in absence of oxygen inside the cell. In aerobic respiration, complete breakdown of food, that is glucose, occurs, whereas in anaerobic respiration, partial breakdown of food occurs. Partial means not complete. End product in aerobic respiration is carbon dioxide and water, whereas end products in this side are ethanol and carbon dioxide in case of yeast, and lactic acid in case of animal cells. Aerobic respiration produces considerable amount of energy. All 38 ATP energy is released. And here anaerobic respiration, much less energy as compared to aerobic respiration is produced here, and that is 2 ATP only. You can just compare it. Now one more important term is there, that is cramps. You might have gone through cramps. What happens sometimes when there is a lack of oxygen in our muscle cells due to some rigorous activity? For example, if you are lifting weights, if you are running, if you are jogging, you are dancing, or doing some difficult physical exercises, then sometimes what happen, all these activities require a lot of energy, consume a lot of energy, but at the same rate, energy is not being produced in the cells. So there is lack of oxygen in the muscle cells, and due to this the glucose is broken down in absence of oxygen, and as a result lactic acid is produced. Because their anaerobic respiration occurs in in the cells of the leg, this buildup of lactic acid causes cramps, and due to cramps, what happens? A person has a feeling of fatigue. One can get rid of this cramp by rubbing the affected area with an ointment or putting leg into lukewarm water. This will regularize the circulation of blood over there, and the person get rid of this cramp. Now this you will better understand with the help of the pathways, various pathways through which the breakdown of glucose occurs in our body.